You're like this. You're this close to waking up.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you got it.
exactly. Have you seen the close but no potato Twitter stream?
No,
It's
that's
right up your speed. I don't know if that's the full name, but
ah close, but no potato. That's a truly excellent name, but no potato. uh,
it's like
yeah.
people just like clearly trying to dunk on the left, but then like actually arguing the point of the left. That's what this Twitter is about.
Hmm.
Wait, what does it say? Can you scroll down
Yikes.
just a little bit?
What if we went to India and started to change their street names? Oh, oh, yeah. This is a.
Yeah, man. Which I wouldn't put past the world right now. It's totally possible.
Oh, Jesus. This is. Welcome to 3D land.
Yeah. Oh, should I switch to the monitor view?
Oh, now
Show people
whatever.
your work, or we can just hype it.
We'll,
We can just hype it up.
we'll get there. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some really really cool looking cubes that I put in here, but they'll be there for later too.
Let's not beat around the bush though. I want to hear about the PS5.
Ah,
First of
it's
all,
it's
how did you get the PS5? Like this is
I
going to be
got
as interesting a story as
super
anything
lucky.
else. Okay.
No, I followed it like a couple of the accounts you pointed me out that were just like linking to like when PS5 went live on different services.
Yeah.
And I randomly opened my phone. It was the first tweet that was like PS5's on Amazon right now. And I just tapped it and bought it immediately. And it was
And
at like 12:30 at night. I was like on my way to bed.
how old
Yeah.
was the tweet?
Like minutes.
Okay. So it's
Yeah,
not like
I like got really lucky. I like just opened it and saw it and like was glancing.
and then it arrived in like a day.
Yeah, Amazon had a warehouse full of them apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's hooked up and everything, right?
Yeah, I got to like turn it on, plug it in, and sign in and download a couple games. I've only played for like 30 minutes, but uh their little weird playroom demo,
Yeah.
very cool.
I've heard that it's amazing actually as a package.
Yeah. As a pack, like it's like Wii Sports. It's
Uh-huh.
a very excellent controller demo. The controller is really cool. I don't understand how the spring triggers work, but they feel really neat.
There's a pretty cool teardown video on YouTube where somebody actually talked about the actual mechanism of it.
Hmm.
Um,
It's like a corkscrew, right? And it applies like constant pressure,
are you talking
but
about the
also like
triggers or the
the
other things?
I was thinking just the triggers because like I just don't mechanically understand how I'm not like snapping a piece of plastic every time I pull it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Oh,
bizarre.
because are you saying it clicks? It can click like that, or
It can apply any resistance at any point, but you can always force through it, I guess.
oh,
Yeah,
nice.
but like some stuff like a half pull to like cock something and a full pull to like release, like
Hmm.
a camera shutter, and some stuff's like increasing resistance the whole way down like a spring. It's a really neat effect.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And then I think the rumble functionality is also like way better, right?
the rumble is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
think
think it's like what the Switch wanted to do.
yeah. I don't think I played enough with the Joy Cons to know exactly what the Switch wanted to do in the first.
I don't think they had enough. Like the Joy-Cons are tiny. This thing is actually like pretty heavy and feels really solid. And I think
Yeah.
it's like it seems like it's mostly rumble motor and battery to power rumble motor.
Um, well, Rumble prior to the PS5 controller was always just like I think it's just like a disc,
Mhm.
right? That's
That
maybe
just like
weighted around the
spins.
outside and it just spins.
Yeah.
Um, I think something about this one is a little bit more sophisticated. Maybe something that moves up and down like in a line rather than a circle.
I think it's linear, which is what what the iPhone haptics are too. They're like a little actuator going back and forth.
Oh, I didn't know
Um,
that. I knew which iPhone has these.
I think everything from like the 10 upwards.
Yeah.
There was a point when like the quality of their vibration changed and they like were able to do like smaller, more precise ones. And I think it was because it was like a linear motion instead of having to like spin up and spin down to like start and stop vibrating.
Right.
Yeah. So I think these are those. I think they're linear motors, and there's one in each stick very clearly.
Right.
Because it can like move left to right in your hands, which is really neat.
Did you buy a new piece of furniture to house your PS5?
No, so I figured out I can get it in there, but I had to put the stand in and then slip it in from the front while holding the stand from the back, and I kind of just like slid it onto the stand to be horizontal. It won't fit through the opening with the stand on at all, but it like will sit in the opening because there's like a lip on the front and the back, but it has clearance top and bottom, so
Yeah. I
it's
have
huge.
I have one of the most common like TV units out there, which is the IKEA Besta system. Um, and I measured it,
How many
and
pieces would I have?
is it?
I was gonna say, no, not quite. Oh, but the TV one, I think it's pretty close. Yeah, does it fit in yours?
Well, I don't have a PS5. I measured it because
Oh,
I wanted to check. Um, uh, so probably your full review is pending because you still need time to kind of live with it.
full review pending, and yeah, Astro is really cool. I forgot how great 60 frames per second is. Like, it honestly makes things look way cooler.
So what kinds of things were you playing at 60?
Well, just like
Just
Astros is
Astro
immediately
itself.
60,
Yeah.
and then I have Ghost of Tsushima, which also runs at 60 on this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like one of the ones that got an upgrade, so we'll see.
I don't think I know what 60 looks like. I mean, I have this gaming PC, and we played Remnant from the Ashes. That's probably the most that I've ever played, and I think it's running at 60.
It was probably pretty close. Yeah, it always has that kind of that like VHS TV feel. If you remember from back in the day when like
Yeah,
some shows were broadcast in 60 in a
yeah,
really weird way. It always takes a minute for me to not like be dissociated by it.
yeah.
Once you get used to it, it looks really smooth.
Yeah, totally. It's weird how we're like acculturated to think that like TV looks crappy and film looks good, even though kind of the opposite is true.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's so weird. Um, the problem with playing on PC though is I think because you're sitting up close, you can see the pixels still, regardless of what the resolution is. Like I'm running at like 4K on some of these, right?
Yeah, it doesn't quite give you that immersion feel, does it?
No, and so but then
Yeah.
watching it on like a 50-inch TV when sitting 10 feet back, it's like
Totally
the
different
graphics feel
experience.
good. Yeah, totally. What I can do though is
Yeah.
maybe hook my computer up to my TV.
There you go.
Yeah, and do it like that.
Yeah, especially if you're using a controller, you're pretty solid there.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I
Yeah.
hope one day to have a PS5.
Uh, I'm
Maybe
sure.
in a
I
year.
mean, in a year you'll have a COVID vaccine and a PS5.
Oh,
Like, everything will be back to normal
we'll all be
or
happy as
better.
clams.
Yeah, normal or better than before.
Yeah. So there's been a flurry of activity in the last couple of days. We were just on stream not that long ago, and a lot of stuff has happened.
It's true.
Um,
I think we both got excited by the possibilities.
yeah. Um, I am not quite ready to demo, but I have been working on getting cloud development working. So running the
Mhm.
server, both the game server and the development server. So like building the assets on an EC2 instance in the
Nice.
cloud, doing the cloud.
That's so
And
great.
there's just like one or two more steps that I need to take care of, and we'll be able to do it. And I
Hell
each can
yeah.
have one. We'll be paying spot prices, so like 5 cents an hour per host. It's gonna be great. It'll be amazing.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really nice to have fast compiles not on our machine, not tied up with
I don't know
like
how much. I don't know if those servers are actually faster, but we'll
even
see.
fewer resources is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Equally fast compiles that don't tie up like RZOom and video
Yeah.
pipelines sounds wonderful.
Now, meanwhile, you have gone all out on the 3D graphics.
A little bit. I got started on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I built a kind of a tiny like object file loader.
Uh huh.
And this OBJ format is, I guess, a industry standard. There's a bunch out there, but this one I found very readable. And the nice thing I like is that it specifies it sort of gives us like this face order, so we could actually switch to vertex indexes at some point.
Yep.
It's not doing that right now. Right now, it's just pasting everything in one by one. But
Right.
it's a really nice system.
And you're copying
I
and pasting these models from the internet, so we don't have to compose them ourselves. Is that the...
um yeah, I got most of these off the internet.
Okay.
There's a bunch of free OBJ files, which really helps too.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so like I started loading in, we've got a cube for the wall, a cube for the tank, cubes for the turrets, and then I have a tree model, but there's a small problem with the tree model when it refreshes in here.
Are they all
And that's
sideways?
they're all sideways, and they're also the wrong scale.
Oh, wow. I can kind of see them.
Yeah, you can sort of imagine that there's a tree here. Let me see if I can find a single tree. Did I put any of those anywhere? That would have been really helpful, but no, it looks like only bustling forests. Um, I'm like fairly heartened that like with all these triangles on the screen, performance remains totally fine.
Oh, yeah. That is amazing,
Um,
actually.
yeah, it is, right?
Yeah.
Because each one of these is
We are on your fancy supercomputer, though.
yeah, but every tree is what 234 to 627. Like each one of these is 394 triangles, so
Yeah.
there's many triangles going on. The other thing I noticed that we're going to maybe have to account for is that they're not scaled. Their values aren't normalized to like a one space.
Yeah. It's kind
Like
of
so
an
these
open question of like what one even means, right?
totally, which I get. That does make sense.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess there's a couple of things we could do there. Like we could keep track of the largest value in any dimension and always reduce that to like have that be our reduction factor before we stick it into the vertex array. I don't know.
Another way we could do it is we could just have a scaling factor with the file name and just put that in a table.
Totally.
And then just like we can do a scale matrix before we, I guess, load the indices, or it can just be one of the matrices that we pass into the shader.
That seems reasonable. Yeah.
Preprocessing, at least when we load, sounds a little bit better because then even the GPU doesn't have to do the multiplication. We just do it once up front.
I think when we load, yeah, it does make sense. And then perhaps we also need to transform some values somehow. I guess the other option is that we switch. It seems like the way our axes are oriented, we are not on the industry standard right now, which would be Y is up, X is horizontal, and Z is forward. Yes. Right now, Z is our up.
Right now, Z is our elevation. So basically, the camera deviates from the ground on the Z-axis.
Correct.
Yeah. That sounds great. There's any number of things that we can tweak here. What do you think makes the most sense?
I think we should switch our orientations. Okay. Because if we want to include any other models, we're gonna hit this every time.
And it didn't matter for the cubes because the cubes are like 100% symmetric.
Yeah, it turns out the cubes are also sideways. Yes. You just can't tell. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess maybe the other thing that I'd be curious to think about is if we could, let's see, I guess in my get model file, I multiply every point by tile size. This is our scaling factor, because if I take this out,
everything's tiny.
Yeah, what you get are cubes that are like 1/24th of a tile.
Yeah.
The trees will probably look fairly tree-like at this point.
What if we made the tile size 1? What happens? What breaks? It's probably stuff in AI, like the simulation that breaks. There's probably some other things that break.
Oh yeah, see these trees look
tiny little trees. Cute.
Tiny little trees.
Cute little trees.
Happy tiny trees.
They are happy little trees. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think tile size going all the way down to 1 is probably like probably what we should do. There's no more pixels going on here.
Yeah.
As I recall, this just breaks everything.
Well, we can at least start with fixing rendering.
Yeah.
It doesn't crash, right? Nothing. Oh, that's cool. That's not bad at all. So we can just zoom the camera in, right?
Yeah, this is
Both the
actually
camera and the far plane can be 1/24th of their current value, right?
exactly. Which yeah, we totally. There's some massive values. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, that can
Uh,
go to 100 maybe. Yeah,
I mean,
or
divided
or,
by
or 20. Yeah.
and what is camera pause? Wait. Oh, this is our offset. Yeah. This is like -10. This is like 10. So that'll help. And then yeah, the far plane over here can also be like 64 is the entire map size. So
Oh,
that has us covered. Oh, well, never mind. That just worked.
that was pretty cool. Do we?
Did it
And our
just,
velocities are in terms of tile size, right?
I think so, but it also seems like it just crashed on me. Something
Did you
just
die?
crashed.
You can't die, right? The
Mm,
turrets are turned off.
oh yeah, nothing should be shooting.
Okay.
Let's give that a quick reload and see what's going on here. Okay, that looks okay. So why did I die?
Try running into a wall. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I wonder what just happened. Maybe who knows? Okay,
Okay.
because this feels correct. Cool. And then yeah, so actually at 64, I was thinking that maybe stuff would start falling off at the back, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Sick. All right. Well, that was easier than I thought it would be.
Nice.
Cool. Cool. Let's see. I think I already took the tile size multiplier out of the 3D render or out of the where we build our models. Great. We don't even need this anymore. Okay, so I guess the next thing is to think about rotating all this.
Did the game crash just now?
Something just crashed. Yeah. Oh, I think the server restarted, so the simulation stopped.
It should still just predict. Oh no, you're right. If the server crashes, we no longer predict infinitely.
Right. Yeah. Which is good. That's fine.
Yeah, we basically ran into what's called net. We basically ran into net pause, but
Okay.
that's the term that the Mortal Kombat people call it.
Where you're just like stopped until everyone catches up.
Yeah, I guess there's two causes of it. One is that the server will wait for all clients rather than just like simulating ahead of everybody. And then if each client will not simulate more than 7 frames past to the last thing they got from the server. So the end result is that if there is a very slow client, the server will stop simulating, and then 7 frames later, the fastest client will stop simulating.
That favors the slow client, right? Like that. That's one of those where you can play games with network lag to like actually get ahead of your opponents somehow. Maybe not.
I don't know. I actually haven't thought about it in those terms that much. I just basically took at like face value what they talked about in that Mortal Kombat rollback talk about like how they do kind of like time travel rollback and that sort of thing. And they basically said, you know what, like we're not going to let slow clients like get too far behind. But if slow clients are far behind enough, we'll desync them, which is basically you end the game basically.
Yep. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have
that
desync,
seems fair.
or you kick them off, right? Then you surrender them to AI control or something like that, right? But we don't have any desync logic right now. That's equivalent to like a timeout or something.
Yep. Cool. Okay. So what were you gonna say?
Nothing.
Oh, I was thinking that maybe the way to sort of attack our point problem here is that we should flip the terrain and then figure out how to move from there.
Okay, that sounds good.
Like every y value becomes a z value.
Yeah.
This should make things at least fairly obvious what's broken as we go.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm doing this right in my head, right? Okay, so this should actually be like now we're. I guess suddenly we're staring down the game board again. Oh, I didn't expect that.
Oh
Oh,
yes, the terrain is
it's right in the
flipped.
middle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sick.
Yeah.
I love it. That's delightful.
We can maybe
Cool.
rotate the camera so it's where it should be, quote unquote.
Yep. Let's do that now. So let's see. We have our camera world pause, and I guess we are moving this. We're swapping our Y and Z there.
Yeah, and then I think probably
Does flip Y become flip Z?
the Z value of the camera.
Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, that's one. Oh, and then our rotation is maybe wrong for this as well, huh?
Yeah.
Oops. Flip Z should
We
be
should be
used.
rotating around. Well, we still want to rotate around the x-axis. That's what
We do.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how that looks. I'm having trouble imagining that. Oh shit. Okay. Weird.
Well, as we're okay, yeah. Do we know where the terrain is at all right now?
No, great question. What if I'm just curious what other rotations look like at this point. I'm expecting these trees to look upright and they're still not, which is sort of what's tripping me out. Ah, okay. That it's better, I guess. Maybe not. So I just switched from rotating on the X to the Y, and now this is back in view.
What
Why
if
is
we
that
rotate
true?
it -45 down the x-axis?
Okay.
Because if the x-axis
Interesting.
goes to the right, a positive rotation is going to tip the camera upwards.
Boom. Bingo.
Yeah.
Great call. One thing I'm noticing is that everything is backwards, including my movement, but also the map.
The map. Yeah. Interesting.
I'm just curious what the identity looks like for this.
Yeah. I think we probably want the identity eventually.
Okay.
And maybe not have a flip at all.
It's
that
still
seemed to fix the map though.
Oh, you're totally correct. The map is fixed. My input is backwards.
Okay.
And our tile positions are backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. I know why that is. It's because of our draw model transform. This needs to also Y and Z flipped. So that should turn our positions 90 degrees and get all that on the right place. Cool. Okay. Still backwards on the movement, but trees and cubes sure look great.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So it's only backwards on the y-axis, right? If you move left to right, is it backwards still?
Left to right is correct.
Yeah.
Isn't this the z-axis?
Yeah. So the z-axis is reflecting the inverse nature of everything in the game, unfortunately. like everything in the game assumes that positive y. Actually, what happens if
Oh, I mean, we could stop negating camera pause on input. Is this why? Because we were. Wait a minute.
That's
We were
part of it.
Yeah, because we were trying
You
to.
can
Because
try that.
well, it's because we needed Y to go up in the opposite direction there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was not correct. But perhaps it's actually plus 10. I think all the negation is wrong on that. I feel like I think the player is just down below the camera at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that looks right. So, and this makes sense to me. The camera now, since we're in the correct space, the camera now correctly tracks based on position.
I feel like there's something still wrong with our roll positions though.
You sure? They're off by half. That's definitely true.
Okay, well, what is pressing up do, or rather, what does pressing W do to our Y position of the player?
Pressing. I think it's subtracting.
Yeah.
And it is moving.
I
it's
see.
doing the correct thing.
It's moving more negative. Okay, so that's actually correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to do this because we had to flip the Y.
Okay. So we're good.
So actually, we lose all that, and the transform is just world to view now. That's great. We actually don't need to multiply flip Z in there. Okay. Well, that's lovely. I feel like actually things just got much simpler.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. That sure looks right. 6 trees.
Yeah.
They have like a little hole in them. I wonder if that's my fault or, well, who knows?
Should we scale the trees down?
We should definitely scale the trees down because this is ridiculous.
Okay.
So let's see. I like your suggestion of just having a scaling factor per file.
Yeah. When are we?
Especially since.
When are we loading each? Oh, I see. I see what's going on here.
I'm just doing it from yeah. So we can do this pretty easily actually. I don't know. 1/6. I think the highest value. Oh, I've seen there's an 8, 9. It probably goes to.
I mean, start with a 6, then see what happens. How it goes. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Since some of the Y's go to 10 or like 9 point something, I feel like that's safe.
Okay. Oh, I see. You're trying to make sure that it doesn't really get any larger than a single tile.
I was trying to fit it to 1, and then we'll see what we get. Yeah.
Okay.
And we can always scale it up if we want more. So.
Yeah.
This is. Let's see. I think what I'd like is for this to be sort of a structure that gets exported.
Yeah. Let's just call it scale, just straight up. It's probably easier.
Okay, cool. Tree is scale and model. Yeah, that does make sense. And this becomes tree again. And I need to get to the cube real quick too. Const cube equals scale and model. And that just gets to be 1. All right, so what is my okay, cool. And then this can just be times object.scale.
Yep.
The opposite of what we were doing with tile size a second ago. Sick. Very nice. Well, that'll be helpful.
Yeah.
Those sure look like tiny trees.
Yep.
Sweet. Okay. Well, I actually am going to make these slightly larger.
Yeah.
But also, I think this tree model is like kind of too tall and not great. Yeah, that looks tree-like.
It's not terrible. They could even be a
Nah,
little bit bigger. Try 1/4 or 1/3.
you got it. Yeah, let's do 4. Yeah, especially if they were like green, this might be
Yeah,
nice.
if they were different colors, it'd be nice.
Well, dang, all things considered, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
really
definitely
really
cool.
nice to see stuff in here. Oh yeah, I like that. That provides just enough cover.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I didn't do yet?
Is the bullet? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're there. It's pretty easy to do actually. I can just tell it to load bullets. Sweet. And actually the funny thing is that we'll just say bullet is a cube. So now I should be able to, when it reloads yet again, shoot some very large bullets. I love it. Whatever.
Yeah, it's great. Now we need to make our particle emitters 3D.
Oh shit, that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
This is fun. All right.
This is exciting.
Sweet. Yeah, it's starting to look sort of like a thing.
What are your TypeScript errors right now?
Let's see. Some of them are all this stuff that's after this return.
Okay, yeah.
Which it has conveniently grayed out for me. There. Primitive text align, not 2D. There, all better.
Yep.
So let's see. So I guess one of the yeah, it really hates when the server stops now. Interesting. I guess whoop, there we go. I guess when if I do a bunch of saves in a row, one of the servers dies before the next one starts, and it's killed before it even gets the refresh going through. So
right,
that's just too much saving.
Yeah.
So let's see. So one of the things we could do is we could get some more models in here. We could also get some colors going on, or even we could try to adopt the material format.
Hmm.
Yeah, so and as you go through faces, it lets you switch the material, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And materials are great because really you just specify diffuse and ambient colors.
Yeah.
And specular, and then like, don't worry about texture right now.
Yeah.
We can worry about texture later.
The way I understand materials is that they are, I don't know if it's inclusive of textures, but they are the parameters into the shader of a particular face. That's how I understand what a material is.
Yeah, I think that sounds right to me.
Yeah.
And it would basically be, yeah, if we were to go through this, we would see like a use MTL? See, like,
and does that
MTL.
reference a different file? Is that the idea?
Yeah, like theoretically, this is loaded up as a named file, and then we would say like use MTL trunk. And for our purposes, we could just change what colors we're pushing into the colors array as that switches.
Yeah.
I can totally imagine that we'd actually maybe want to have some sort of split them up into renderables and change uniforms if we were doing like more complex lighting and stuff. So.
Right. Okay. Any of those things sound good. The material thing is going to be an interesting structuring problem, an API design problem.
Yeah, we're not. I've only implemented half of the OBJ file format here.
Yeah.
And really how we choose to interpret it, I guess we can be a little flexible with.
It's totally up to us. I agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Where did our terrain colors get set? Is that terrain layer?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I
we've
was
already
going
updated it, so we take raw color values. That's great.
exactly. Yeah. So I was going to say we actually do a const colors or really const materials, and we can do right now we can just do like single colors for each
Okay.
wall and turret.
And a material currently is what? Just a color, or will it be a more complicated structure?
I was gonna let it be just a color
Okay.
so we can get off of all gray. But yeah,
So
I
a Vec
think
4
as we
starting out.
like as we go through lighting and stuff, we can start to like
Agreed.
I would load them in from MTL files and go
Yeah.
all the way. So let's see if I was to open up. Where did our old colors live? Oh, it's probably like it's in tree, isn't it? Like it's actually nope. That's my new one. Tree. Okay, I have to actually find some colors. Dark green, CSS. Damn you, W3 schools. Hey, I hate this
100,
website.
100 divided by 255 is what that is.
Yeah, I hate this website a lot, but like, fuck yeah for them including the RGB values.
Yeah.
It's the one good thing they've done. Cool. Tank was black.
Bullets were red.
Bullets are red. Yeah.
It's 1.
Oh, black should also be one. Yeah, totally.
And not 255, but 1.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Right. We only need that for division. Let's do like a nice, yeah. Division's fine. And turrets were what, yellow?
Yellow, yeah. It doesn't have to be continue to be yellow. That was just kind of what we chose.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a. Let's give him like a lemon chiffon.
Yeah,
Actually,
I was looking at the exact same thing. I was like, what about lemon chiffon?
Great minds think alike here, dude.
Exactly.
Cool.
So we have one material per renderable right now. That's in one model per renderable right now.
Yeah, and I was actually going to go through the format of letting them switch if we really felt like it. So we have this like we're splitting on white space, and we're going to say if component 0 equals, and this is maybe not the most clever object parser, but it is getting the job done. Let current color equals materials dot. I'm just letting wall be our default for everything. And then current color equals materials of components 1. Yeah, I'm sure it's unhappy about that. Yeah. Let Typescript die on that for. Oh, I made a default color. Never mind. Then default color should definitely turn into magenta.
Yep.
That'll make everything happy. And then this all becomes current color. Oh, and actually at this point, we'll have to start putting in models for different things, which is totally fine. So we're going to say our cube is used material wall, and our tree is used material tree. Okay, I haven't looked at the code in a second. I wonder if it still works. Sort of. No, I'm going to go with no.
I wonder why it did that.
Yeah, me too. I guess, wait, did I pick the wrong default color? That's
no, that's yeah, that is
that's yellow. Yeah. That explains the yellow at least.
How are you looking up? Oh, I see. You're just splitting along white space.
Yeah, it shouldn't shouldn't be terribly controversial, but let's at least see what we got there. Yeah, I would have expected something a little better.
Oh, I see what's going on.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Every loop, we are resetting the current color.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you're totally right. There's probably one vertex that got the right color all the way in there on every one.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Hey,
The
that
tank
looks
is not
great.
black, but it's because we don't have a different model for the tank.
Correct. Yeah, my plan was to just duplicate all these.
Yeah.
And turret.ts.
And
And
bullet.
bullet. Might as
Yeah.
well do bullet. So you all get to be cube. Tank is just that, but tank and tank. Turret and
Is it
turret.
too much work to name the variable inside of the model file? Never mind. I think it's fine. The other thing you could do is you could import them
the model
with
variable, or
you can import them with an as, the way our systems work, because like every system like exports an update function.
Oh,
it's fine.
Okay. You're saying just export, right? Export.
No. Oh yeah. I mean that would work too. Or you could do export const thing. You know,
you can do that. You can do that.
Yeah, you wouldn't even need to do that if you were exporting both of those things. You just, yeah. Whatever. Yeah. I think the way you had it was fine. It's a pretty small thing.
I'm open to the refactor. I guess I see the point you're making, which is that having to name this every time is silly when we can export star as.
Yeah.
Or import star as and just get our local names correctly. Yeah, totally. I do agree with that. All right, for bullets, oops, you get to actually be 1/8 of a cube.
Yeah.
And then we'll get tiny bullets too. Turret, tank, cool. Turret, tank, bullet, and I guess there isn't a fifth one.
So instead of cube, it should be called wall, right?
It totally should, yeah. Yeah, let's rename that. Okay, that looks good. Everything, nothing is there. Bring it back. All right, try it one more time. Thought I saw an error, but I was hoping it was going away. This one, not immediately sure how to fix, but oops. Not an object obj.model. Crap, but which one is it? Huh? Those all look like they have a model on them. While that's reloading, let's look and make sure. Scale model. The tree is probably fine. Oh, is it the terrain that's fucked up? But the terrain rendered, no. Oh, wall is undefined. Okay. Man, I wonder if I gotta restart the server. I renamed a file. Parcel.
Yep.
What would be a good way to solve this? I guess
Just define const materials as a key string
yeah.
or use a map.
Hmm. It's a key string to a array. Great call. I always forget that exists.
Yeah, and probably the right side, strictly speaking, should be like a 4 tuple of numbers because we know the size.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. All right, so interestingly, my wall is still nothing. Am I tripping here? I totally restarted the server too.
Yeah. I can't see the error message, so I'm not sure what we're running into.
Oh, sorry. Let's let this rebuild and it should pop back up. Object evaluating object.model. And at least on this side of things, wall comes back as nothing now.
But not on the server side.
Weirdly, not on the server side. Yeah, you
let's
saw
just
that
do
too,
yarn
huh?
clean yarn dev.
All right. That bad, huh?
Mm.
And make sure the client isn't like. Yeah, it just asks for the wall. Nothing weird going on there. Okay.
Yeah.
Just close that out too and start from scratch. All right. Here we go. This is gonna work. Oh wow, CPU is really going.
I like it.
Yeah. Hey.
Look at that.
Yeah.
But
I like that our walls look like little creamy sushi rolls.
Right. Shoot.
Not bad. So I don't know if I guess we're having. Could this be Z fighting? But I feel like our turret cube is not drawing correctly here.
It might be Z fighting. I don't think we have any culling going on right now, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, because I guess you draw this and then you draw this face, but I would actually expect the turret to call. Yeah. We had back. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think we have. We don't even have. I don't think we have the depth buffer enabled, nor do we have.
Oh, you know what we did that on? We did that in the other file.
Yeah.
So we should like totally use these, right?
Yes. And then for cull face, let me go look at some of this stuff here. We should probably try to be explicit about what our winding is.
Oh, okay.
And then are we clearing the depth buffer as well? Let's do one thing at a time. If we're enabling the depth test.
Okay.
That fixed it.
I did fix it, yeah.
But while we're there, do this.ctx dot cull face. And then this should be this.ctx dot cull back. Or face back? What is it? It should just be back, maybe? Is that just a word? Yeah, back. And then we want to also specify the winding as well. Let's see. Maybe it just assumes that it's counterclockwise.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Do you know what I mean by winding, by the way, if I say that?
No, I'm actually not clear on that. I was hoping
So
I would see it change something.
how do you know what the front face or the back face of a triangle is?
I see. Is it that we Yeah, I mean, how do you? We're drawing stuff counterclockwise, right?
Uh,
But that's the only
we
how do we know
specified
up and
things
down?
counterclockwise for the terrain explicitly for this reason.
Mm-hmm.
So what counterclockwise means is if you follow them around and you just turn your hand in that direction, your thumb is pointing towards the front of the face. So it basically uses the ordering of the vertices to determine which side of the triangle is the front, which side is the back.
Okay. Interesting.
Although it doesn't seem like you can specify winding in WebGL. Let me see, WebGL vertex order.
Okay, and I have one more thing I want to think about after we do that.
There is a Stack Overflow article that's not very useful. This.ctx.frontface. That's the function.
Oh, interesting. Okay. 3D render.
And then the argument is this.ctx. It's this.ctx.frontface. Oh, no. You had it right originally. It's call face back. And then the function is called front face. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't specific. And then CCW.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So just as an experiment, we could try changing out the CW and our terrain should disappear. Let's actually make sure that it draws right now. Okay,
Looking
it draws.
good.
And then if you change that to CW.
Our terrain should disappear. Perhaps our boxes should invert themselves,
exactly.
or we should see like half of them.
Yeah. The boxes, I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Okay. But I'm with you on the terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay. These all look correct.
Yep.
Weirdly. Okay, cool.
Well, and then are we clearing the depth buffer? When we do cleared, are we clearing?
No, we do color buffer, but we should also do this.ctx.depth
buffer bit. Yeah.
Cool. I guess we don't need that anymore.
It's funny, there's a clear depth function. This specifies what depth value to call. So we clear it clears to 1. 1 being as far back into the clip space as you can go. That makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. Because everything is -1 to 1.
Yes.
Cool.
Although -1 is farther away from you. I'm not sure if I quite understand. I'm not sure if I understand that.
-1 is farther away. Oh, interesting.
Why does it clear to 1? Oh, well, I would imagine if you cleared the depth buffer to 1, then it would think that there's something there in front of everything, because 1 is as close to the camera as possible. That's weird.
It is weird. Wait, I thought -1 was as close to the camera as possible. Okay. I thought
Well, let's check it out.
-1 was the front plane. Yeah.
Uh, I don't think that's the case, but
Okay. Great. I mean, I believe you. GL camera clear.
because nothing ever flips the z-axis.
Hmm.
I guess it depends on what value. It depends on what value actually gets written to the depth buffer. I feel like it's the z coordinate that does, but it's the z coordinate that, or the z divided by w coordinate, which is flipped to positive, maybe.
Hmm.
I'm looking over my notes right now.
I'm honestly still just impressed that this all exists and works.
This
So
all works, yeah.
whatever.
I'm impressed too.
Not whatever. I actually am getting a lot from the understanding of the math, but also I'm just like continually impressed.
Yeah.
I want to get stuff off the half tile fuck up though.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and it's weird actually because the trees feel like they're centered on the tile and nothing else does. I wonder why that is. Oh,
Well, I guess one question I have is, what is actually off? Is our
well, like these starting positions for the other players should be, or for this thing, like this is a half tile here, and I think it should be.
is our terrain off or our entities off?
Ah, good question.
We can draw the ground grid.
We can draw the ground grid.
Yeah.
Say more. What do you mean?
So we can basically just draw a debug grid in world space.
Okay.
And the way that we would do that is in between draw terrain and draw entities. We have a draw grid function that we don't always call on the
Okay. Gotcha. So we're back in a sort of debuggy mode.
Yeah. Well, where does the
Oh, it's not here at all. Yeah. So right now, yeah, it's right here. We only have draw model, but we could add draw grid.
Oh, we can make it a model, but I think we do actually want to we want to do some funny stuff with the depth. Although we could draw the grid like a tiny amount above the ground, right? Because I think where we get in trouble is that like it'll start failing the depth test if we've already drawn
Right.
the terrain. Or there'll be Z fighting, but we can also change the depth test to do what we want. So
cool. Okay, so let's see. To draw this model, we need to make a grid model.
Yep.
How? I mean, I guess I can make a new one here, but how do I even draw lines? I can draw triangles.
We can do this programmatically, actually. It's
cool.
Probably actually easier to do it programmatically.
Great. Let's do that. Okay, then let's just do an draw model. What does this need? It needs us to have loaded a model at all.
Yeah.
So we just need to call load model with a set of vertices. Great. grid equals nothing. All right, so how would you go about this?
So I would do for like negative 64 to positive 64 is for let I equals negative 64.
Okay. Negative 32, right?
Oh, there's 64 by 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it goes up to 31. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Do this for I and for J.
And for J, yeah.
That makes sense.
We actually
Okay.
only need to do it. We don't need to do it for every J. Oh, we do. We do. We need the vertical ones. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do pairs of vertices, or like pairs of vertices making lines for each. Does that make sense?
Pairs of vertices.
It might actually make more sense to do two separate for loops rather than nesting them. Okay. One for the row lines and one for the column lines. And so what we would do here is basically the verts. They need to be three vectors, right? Each vertex needs to be like a triple in 3 space, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So if we're iterating over I, that means we're iterating over rows. That means that we're basically starting from negative the 32 z value. Theoretically, we should be multiplying by tile size. And then the x value is going to be the max. It's going to be the minimum x value, which is negative 32 times tile size, right? And then the y value will be some tiny infinitesimal amount over 0.
Yep. Const x equals.
We're going to have 2 different x values, though, so it may just be easier to just construct these as like arrays.
Gotcha.
In the push statement or something like that.
Okay. We're doing y first, yeah. Okay. And then, right, so we're pushing 3 points.
Yep.
That all share at least that same tiny z.
And I think it's all going to be flat. So I don't think we do subarrays, right?
Oh, we totally don't have to. You're right.
Yeah. So okay, it's x, y, z. Yeah, and the x value is going to be negative. It's going to be I times tile size. The y value is going to be some like 0.001 or something like that. It's just going to be floating right above the ground, if that makes sense. And the z value is, or I'm sorry, the z value is I times tile size. The x value is.
We don't need a nested loop for this?
No. The x value, because we're drawing like left to right lines, so we're drawing the minimum x value to the maximum x value.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the x is going to be negative 32 times tile size.
I gotcha.
And then we just copy that and then paste it again right after it. And this will be the right, but this time the x coordinate is going to be 31 times tile size. Let's just do 32. It'll bound the right side of the grid.
Cool. Okay, so, but how, we need a third one? Or we just go back to negative 32?
They're not triangles, so it's just 2 points. So we're going to be drawing lines.
Okay, so we're going to need to like sort of, this will have to be loaded a little differently.
It'll have to be...
That's okay, though,
We'll have to call draw elements. You're right that we'll need a different draw call. Because we're not going to use the triangle strip primitive. We're going to use the lines primitive. Does that make sense? Gotcha.
Okay. Sweet.
And this is actually a good exercise because I think what's gonna happen is it's gonna show us that we need to refactor the render a little bit.
Cool. So then in this case, we're just gonna swap our
Yeah, yeah.
Oops. 32. Okay.
And then probably for each one of these, we want to push something onto colors if we still want to obey that same model. So we'll have
Yep.
colors.
I think right now I'm totally good with that.
And then the
Let me add,
colors can just be whatever.
let's add like a debug here. What's cyan again?
Cyan is full green, full blue.
Yeah. And then we're going to do colors.push.
We may not want. It's fine. You'll want to do dot 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 for both arguments.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, of course.
Great.
Cool. And then we can return our vertices and colors, which is where we do the flip 32.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so now I think we do want to load it, but it's gonna like the VAO might be different. Can we go to the
It's going
renderer
to be
again and see what load model looks like?
I mean, at the very least, our vertex position buffer needs a different counter. That actually might be it. So we could sort of parameterize that
No,
if we want.
I don't think it
Numverts
matters,
as
right?
well.
Because the vertex attribute pointer is
Oh,
I think
right.
it's the same. It's exactly the same.
That's number of values in a point.
Yeah.
The only thing we care about is they're drawing out the triangles. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Numverts changes, but like
Number of vertices is the same, right? Because it's taking the size of the array and dividing it by the number of floats in a single vertex.
oh fuck. Okay, I'm still tripping. Yep.
Yeah.
It really is just a change to line. Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so actually loading it is very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. That means that,
Oh.
well, you know, it's
Well, the grid is
interesting.
there. That's fun.
What's drawing that? Wait a minute.
What is drawing that?
How is that even possible? Oh, I told it to. Great.
Okay. So we could
it's drawing its triangles.
Put the primitive on the model if we wanted to.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Or even do it as an optional, which is
yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah. GL. Right. Is this that'll work, right? We can do a string. Yeah. Looks like it worked. So that'll yeah.
Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you changed there.
Oh, just I was making sure I could pass a value in as a string here. I was worried I have to go and grab like this .ctx.lines out of here, but I actually don't think we need to. We just want to access this value directly. I do need
yes.
Huh. How it doesn't really matter. How do we get stuff out of load model into
Oh, you know what's complicated about this? I just realized. Is
What's
that the lines are gonna oh no, wait, this is fine. Sorry. The lines
Okay.
will draw with their vertices transformed into world space or into perspective. But oh my god, that's cool.
It's drawn that triangle.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's the art for the stream.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So basically, it'd be this line 177 would be this dot ctx, and then in there you'd be this dot vao dot primitive.
That's the problem though, is that the VAO is actually a VAO, not the object we're getting back here, right? We're returning. Oh, never mind. We'll just put
We could
primitive in
extend
here
that,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Primitive,
we'll do that.
and then question mark this dot ctx dot, or it's just triangles, right? You want to do the string, right?
Uh, yeah, I was gonna do the string.
Okay.
Triangles.
It's
And it's not. It's this dot. God, we don't even load it. What jerk didn't pass the whole model in here? It was me. Okay.
Can we just change the signature
Of this,
of
yeah.
this to just pass the grid model entirely?
Yep, and then we don't need it over here and don't need to think about that. Oh, sorry, to pass. Yeah, you know what? That's probably. I guess we need to come up with a type signature for that, but that's okay. This is a model, which is vertices. Vertices is a float 32 array. Colors is a float 32 array, and primitive.
Question mark is a string.
Yeah. Sweet. All right, so vertices, vertices, colors, and then primitive is primitive or
Pressing an I
triangles.
on the.
Whoop, I totally am. But also our vow object needs to just keep track of primitives as well.
Yeah.
This dot vow dot. Oh, just vow dot primitive. Sweet.
It's fine. We'll figure out a way of dealing with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna see if there was a mode, but no, that's okay.
There's no type for the mode. Is it just an int?
It's a number, yeah, or it's an enum, which oh god, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can make our own. We can make our own like enum and then map it somewhere.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll get fancier. And then everywhere we're doing dot vertices, we just start passing in the model.
Clever.
I like that mass delete, especially when it works.
Yep. Not so much when it sucks.
Sometimes it really sucks, yeah.
All right, so it looks like our terrain's drawing correctly. Doesn't this look cool?
Uh-huh. This looks really cool.
Yeah.
And okay, so I'm gonna posit our trees are also drawing correctly.
Fascinating. Okay, so let's take a look at the cube model.
Okay.
I think I know what it is actually.
Sweet. So let's see. So actually, let's look at the walls first.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the problem. Your model here is not centered around 0. It's centered around 0.5.
Whereas the tree is centered on 0.
Yeah.
And all our drawing is also centered on. Okay.
So on top of a scale and model, we could do a translate, like a base fudge factor. So when we do the multiplication, we also do the add as well, right? We could do that You didn't want if you
Mm,
wanted to just like leave the model coordinates the same, because otherwise we'd have to like edit this shit, you know?
yeah, we haven't edited a cube by hand yet.
Yeah.
we keep stealing our cubes, right? Because I got this. This is the points from. Yeah, these are the A's, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh no, this was totally different. Actually, those were.
And interestingly, we only want to do it on the X and Z axes and not on the Y axis, right? Because the registration point of the model is actually the bottom edge, the bottom face, the
Yep.
center of the bottom face, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So really, every X and Z just gets a negative 0.5.
Correct.
All right, whatever. Let's do it.
Amazing.
Yeah, missed the one, and nothing's on 0, which is nice, except for the y-axis.
Yeah.
All right, did that work on the first try? Let's find out.
Love it.
I do too. So only the walls will jump, which is gonna be really funny looking as well. The turret should be misaligned. Yep. Cool. All right, I see that Z fight. So let me just paste this fancy model into everything else. Tank gets it.
And the bullet.
Even the bullet gets it.
The lowly bullet.
Lowly bullet.
Oh man.
Cool.
Unbelievable.
All right, that tank and turret are really snapped onto that grid now. Yeah.
Can we get a real tank in there?
Yeah, you want to get that was sort of why I wanted to get the models oriented correctly, because now we can put a tank in. Yeah, fuck yeah. So I noticed, and maybe this is just the way the mouse is clicking, but like these trees are hitting way in totally fucked up spots.
Well, it's because the mouse is not. We can't see the turret, but if we were actually what we really want the turret to point at in world space is we need to take the screen position where you're clicking, map that into world space, and then point the turret at that. What I actually think is happening is like if you shoot way off into the distance, like where the you're gonna see that your bullet's not really traveling where the mouse pointer is, right?
So
It's actually pretty good.
it's weird because it is, but as like the bullet doesn't hit the wall. Isn't that weird? I actually think that we might be rendering sort of. I don't know. Our collision detection might actually be off now. But like our wall collision detection is fine. It's weird though, right?
I'm puzzled.
Yeah. All right, let's find a tank and then we'll come back to that.
We're good at nothing if not procrastinating on the hard things.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably nothing. Tank low poly. Let's see what we find. That's the opposite of low poly.
Are these are like First Reich tanks?
People yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
No fashy tanks. Yeah. This guy though, I kind of like it. Epic in Cyrillic.
Let's keep this. Let's download this one. I want to see what else is there.
You got it. Sorry, I have to wait. I have to wait for this scummy site to give me my download link.
Oh man. Sourceforge.com.
Source? What? Where?
Do you remember SourceForge?
Oh, kinda.
How old were you in like the year 2001?
15.
Okay, so maybe you weren't quite in the open source software fully yet.
No, SourceForge was always the old thing.
Yeah.
I remember it existing.
There's still some shit hosted on SourceForge. If you told me that OBS was hosted on SourceForge, I wouldn't be surprised. It's that kind of project.
I would believe that, yeah. So we got a traditional tank.
It's too high poly.
This funny guy. I'll open that.
Still too much.
Yeah. Now.
I want
Oh,
like a Pico 8 tank. You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like this guy.
Almost. It's kind of ugly though.
It's got a turret.
Um,
That is not a tank, but it is
no.
a tank top.
Now we're getting into tank tops and like tanks that hold water. I think the one that you downloaded is going to be the best of the
Let's
bunch.
let's at least go vehicle low poly and just see what
Okay.
else is in the world for us.
Yeah. How are these low poly? Look at that truck.
Oh,
It's
sorry. Wait.
$130.
I know, right? I think low poly. I'm honestly this checkbox really seems like bullshit, but then you get this, which maybe isn't in
Yeah,
fact
maybe our standards are just way too low for this.
relatively low poly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the poly count I noticed like the lowest setting is up to 5,000 polygons, which is fairly ridiculous in my mind.
So I'm embarrassed to say, like that Lamborghini right there, that yellow one, that's pretty nice, right?
This guy,
Yeah, but even that's
yeah.
got a ton. Like it's got like
Look at all those. There's transparency. There's a lot
yeah,
going
there's a
on
lot
here.
going on
Yeah,
there. That would take me 4 weeks to draw.
absolutely.
So why do they call it poly when what do they mean by poly? Is that a quad? Is that like a quad or is it a triangle? Right? Because like in the computer, OpenGL actually used to have a mode where we could I think it could draw quads, but
Yeah,
WebGL just triangles. So
it's
by
interesting because
polycat, do they actually mean triangles?
these are quads.
But I bet when you download the OBJ file,
It,
it's gonna give you
I think it's
triangles.
triangles.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has been so far.
yeah.
Uh,
Lamborghinis are nice because it helps that they look like a low poly like 80s render of a car. You know what I mean? It's like the Tesla truck.
oh, oh man, yeah. We forgot that this should be all about stealing a Cybertruck.
Right.
It's just four triangles. It'll be the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah. So the theme of our game is not seizing the means of production, it's seizing the means of destruction.
Yeah, hell yeah. Little of both. You got to do one to do the other.
Mm-hmm. You got to burn down the
That's
old world to build up the new one.
some trucks. I'm just gonna get this Lamborghini
Okay,
just for my
in case.
personal research. Yeah, I'm
So what's going to be
curious.
interesting about the having
Here's a
an
cop car.
oriented vehicle uh,
Hmm.
is that we are going to have to figure out how to rotate a model. So we actually have to have per entity model transforms,
Yep.
like a
And
model world matrix.
I was gonna say our tank, it already rotates, but it rotates in a weird way. Like it definitely is tire treads or bust.
Yeah.
I do want this one. It's so crappy. It's perfect. I think it's at the quality of the game graphics right now, so it won't be too ostentatious. But let's see the one I already downloaded. Probably this, or is it this guy? Oh yeah, here's.
No, I
By
like
the
how the
way,
preview. Yeah.
yeah, OBJ files in Mac OS, dope as fuck.
Yeah,
Because in a
they're really
second I
dope.
can. Well, I should be able to drag the sucker around too.
I know that
Oh,
GitHub lets you preview OBJ files, which is pretty nice.
yeah.
Soon to be TypeScript file.
Really? Wait,
Well,
that's.
we're gonna just like paste that into TypeScript, right?
Oh yeah, because I totally have cheated on trying to like load it as a text file. I wish
Parcel
that.
can do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, you don't have to, but Parcel can just you can just import it and then it knows what to do with it.
That's pretty sick. Man, it's so weird. Like I was totally dragging these around earlier, so it's just not showing off on the stream. There we go. Or it's just really slow.
Hmm.
Really slow.
Well, you failed to impress me, Dom. I'm
Yeah,
disappointed.
I failed to impress me too. So I'm with you. So come on, really between the two of these,
I'm gonna let you make this call.
let's bring this little guy in here. I
Okay.
think it's funny.
I like the antenna.
Yeah. Let's see how terrible it is. Oh, this doesn't look bad at
No,
all.
it looks okay.
So yeah, so I've been going
So
to
like
these and I've been
300 or 400 lines. Is that Okay.
Well,
Oh,
so
you've been like
I
manually editing these. I see.
well, I'm taking out because there's texture coordinates for VTs
Oh,
and there's normal coordinates for VN, and I've been tossing all these out
chuck them. Yeah.
because we don't need them. And actually, what I think is going to happen, so this does multiple at a time. So there's one chunk of tank and then some VT and some VN and then some face values. It's a cute little format. I don't want to. Well, maybe someday we'll write a whole parser for it.
Yeah.
Or we'll learn how to use Blender, one or the other.
Yeah. I have an STL parser in my other project, but I just use a Node.js library called Binary Parser. That's like the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's like what you use TypeScript for. It's such like a tour de force of like TypeScript magic.
Nice.
Because it uses the builder pattern. Builder pattern where you like create a constructor and you set a bunch of properties by calling methods on that object.
Oh yeah, very very familiar with the builder.
You do that. Yeah. What's up?
These are quads.
Interesting.
I don't know how to use this model. That's really annoying.
Oh.
I've hit this before. Let's look at the crap tank real quick.
Okay, yeah. We're looking for.
Sorry, Jeff.
No.
Yeah. Wow, this thing has a lot of shit going
on. Yeah. This. What is VT?
Texture coordinate.
Texture coordinates. Okay. Yeah.
These are triangles though. That's nice. Okay. Holy shit, man. All right, just lean back and relax. I wonder why this thing, I feel like this is actually garbage, like a garbage export or something. 4164 texture coordinates. Yeah, someone just kind of fucked that up. That's okay.
Well, it could have 4,000 verts, although it doesn't really look like it, does it?
I don't think it does.
No.
Yeah, I think it just has a lot of VN. Yeah, like 700 vertices and
your thing will, it doesn't care that the F's and V's are interleaved, right?
It doesn't, but they're not right now. But yeah, it doesn't give a shit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's see. We're gonna give this use MTL tank. So it's gonna be a very dark looking tank.
Yeah.
And then, God, the last thing I do, it'll be nicer to actually have a whole parser here because I've been doing parse out numbers and replace with, because it's an index into the normals and texture coordinates, and yeah,
I got it.
Great. I feel silly for having done all this, but it was very fun.
Yeah. I mean, you got these cubes drawn.
I got the trees drawn.
Wait, is that like a mech back there?
I'm sorry. Let me go back to what we were looking at. It's gone. I've lost it. Where's the mech?
Scroll down.
Oh,
yeah. There's our tank. Robotize Pro.
Robotize Pro. I mean, this is pretty sick. Is this rigged?
I mean, if you think about it, this model is worth $100, right? Like this guy. Like,
honestly, this model is, and it's got rigging and animation. This model is undersold for $100, frankly.
Yeah.
You can't buy art direction unless you buy from Robotize.
Yeah.
Oh man, this guy's
is this Avatar? Like, what is this? Like, what is?
I don't know.
It's kind of Avatar-ish, right?
That's little aliens. This is a little Star Trek.
Yeah. Maybe anime.
How is this low poly?
Oh, I don't know. Can you search for Robotech?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not clicking this one that's adult content because I really don't even want to know.
Oh, okay. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are so dope.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
And this guy.
Which would be
Classic
great. So I
Robotech.
guess a lot of people like they use these for the 3D printers. I'm guessing, right?
I bet so. I was just gonna since it's the theme of the day, I was just gonna toss it out there and see what they got.
Yeah.
Actually, not terrible shit.
No.
If our game is cyberpunk, it has to at least be like not unironically not cyberpunk at all. Like this RPG is apparently.
Well, Mike Pondsmith, I believe, he was like one of the original creators of the cyberpunk role playing game. I read an article about him recently where he was like, it's supposed to suck, cyberpunk.
Right.
And I believe when he says that, whoa, what's going on with our rendering there?
Well, I think we're inside the tank.
Oh.
Because I think the tank is big. So let me give this a scale
needs
of.
to be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, there you go.
We'll see what this 1/64 scale model looks like.
Yeah. I like being inside the tank.
It's pretty cool.
It's fun.
That's honestly not what I expected, but sure. I think I just got the turret somehow.
Yeah, that's weird. Is it not based on the ground? Do all the y values look like they're positive?
Oh. That's a good question.
I think they are.
Nothing super deep in the ground. Oh,
there's a couple negatives right there. Yeah.
Oh fuck. Oh, it's very negative. This thing is all the way underground. Oh, so actually this 1/64th is just the top of it. This tank is even bigger. All right. Well, we'll get to that. Yeah. So wait, sorry, Cyberpunk is supposed to suck.
It's supposed to suck. But and so the creator of the original role-playing game, which was called Cyberpunk 2020, to give you an idea of when it was made.
I know, right?
He made it in 1988. It was so good. Like all the drawings and like he was clearly like an inspired like artist. I think he understood that Cyberpunk was supposed to be a warning and a dystopia. But he's still making a role-playing game that you want to like fantasize about being in this world, right? So there's an inherent contradiction about honestly any kind of like cautionary tale. I mean, this is a very simplistic literary analysis that I'm putting here. Let me brand myself that way, but it's difficult to write an escapist fantasy while you're also trying to write a warning, right? But I think the best entertainment can do it, right? Or they can skirt that line, and probably Cyberpunk 2077 is not the ideal vehicle for that, right?
It doesn't seem like it pulled that off.
Yeah. But what is a great cyberpunk movie that is like very much a warning is Children of Men.
Oh my god, Children of Men was amazing.
Yeah, it's so good, right? But you don't want to live in that world, right? It makes it not super hot to live in.
Yeah, that movie also set in 2020.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, and I feel like we're actually much closer to that experience than
Yeah. I think yeah, God. Children of Men is like the intermediate between
2027.
Okay.
Give Brexit a couple years to bake.
Yeah. Basically, we'll get to Children of Men, and then we'll get to Mad Max, Thunderdome kind of stuff. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna be fighting a water war against a tribe led by an obese white guy who wears an antelope skull as a mask.
Oh man, it's really true. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will play the Cyberpunk game in like 2 years after they fix it.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy it. It looks fun. It looks like
a fun RPG. Yeah, I enjoyed. There's been like I've been sipping on the delicious Twitter irony of like people who are really upset that they pre-ordered something and then a corporation screwed them over.
Yeah.
In a game about corporations screwing you over, I was just like, yes.
Love it.
You're like this. You're this close to waking up.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you got it.
exactly. Have you seen the close but no potato Twitter stream?
No,
It's
that's
right up your speed. I don't know if that's the full name, but
close, but no potato. That's a truly excellent name, but no potato. uh,
it's like
yeah.
people just like clearly trying to dunk on the left, but then like actually arguing the point of the left. That's what this Twitter is about.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what does it say? Can you scroll down
Yikes.
just a little bit?
What if we went to India and started to change their street names? Oh, oh, yeah. This is a
Yeah,
who am I signed in as? No one. I'm coming back to that.
yeah, it's good.
Hell yeah. So while I was just adding a quick translation to this as well.
Yeah. Is that Eric? ESK
Oh,
1404. We just got a chat. They said they made it 99% of the way. Um, it's true.
99% of the way. Wait, who did? What?
Someone on chat said they made it 99% of the way. They're responding to Close But No Potato.
Oh, close by potato. Yeah.
Yes. Welcome, ESK 1404. Either you are a fan of this Twitter or you are just a very intelligent AI that knows what we're talking about. Which I wouldn't put past the world right now. It's totally possible.
Oh, Jesus. This is this is a great Twitter account.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's brightened my day.
It's good.
Translate is an optional number.
It is very painful.
Number.
That ESK says it's almost painful, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to laugh if you can't cry, right? That's the thin line between comedy and tragedy.
True that.
Yeah. So what are we doing? We're bringing the tank
okay,
out of the ground.
man.
We're resurrecting it.
I'm just taking the tank out of the ground.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
But realizing that suddenly everything needs like a translate on it, which is really annoying. Nope. I'm gonna type this instead. This is a key string that points to. Yeah, I know, right? Points to a model. I don't know. I'll figure that out in a second. And
this is gonna be my entire break. I'm taking a couple weeks off for the holidays.
nice.
I'm just gonna go through and just refactor the shit out of all this stuff. So don't worry about it. We're
Great.
on stream. The stream is about dynamism and creation. This is the this is the all the, you have to melt the world down to get things done.
Amazing. I love that. It's really unhappy. Dude, man, fucking TypeScript. It's like that's not a number. That's a number array. Listen, TypeScript.
I'm willing to
Right?
give it a pass on this one because it
You happy?
it saved my ass so many times. Yeah.
I know. Yep. Plus dot. Do we translate before or after we scale? Before.
It depends. Either way is fine. It depends if you're translating.
Right. It doesn't actually matter.
It doesn't actually matter at this level. Yeah.
I'm gonna let it be on the before coordinates because I'm kind of pulling this value out of.
Okay, that's easier to think about, right?
It's a little easier to think about, yeah. Let's translate.
Oh,
hang on,
cool.
we're getting there. Because this has a default value, so it should pop back in a second once my bugs go away.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
And look at this. The tank is out of the ground.
Yeah. I think it needs to be half again as small, right? Or 75%.
Yeah, it's huge.
1/192.
Oh my god. Sure.
Yeah, I'm into these like powers of 2 or
yep.
multiples of 2 at least.
Yeah, truly a giant tank model. I find myself wishing that everyone just oriented on 0. It is, except it's
It's off on the z-axis. Is that
On the
right?
Z,
We
yeah.
need to
Is
bring
it
it down. We positive, yes. We need to add a little work.
positive?
Yeah.
Let's give it. I'm gonna give it 20. Give it a little nudge.
Yeah.
I love having these other tanks around to look at. It's been really helpful.
Yeah.
Look at these 3D models we got. It's so cool.
They are. Oh, yeah, it's close enough.
It's good enough for now. Yeah,
Yeah, good
it's
enough for
not right,
government
but
work. And we've got 20 minutes left. I bet we can rotate this. I bet we can totally rotate
okay,
this.
let's do it. Yeah, because we've actually got we have a rotation value that we were using before.
Yeah.
If we go into our player transform, oh, and actually in the player input system, pretty sure we're rotating somewhere in here. Oh, tank mover.
Yeah, the rotation comes from there.
Yeah. Okay, so if we were, so like we've got,
could,
yeah.
if we thought that the transform always applies to the models uniformly,
Mm-hmm.
where do we render?
I like picking up what you're putting down. I think it's in.
Of course, our orientations need to be. I guess we consider the orientation to be a rotation around the y-axis. Is how we can interpret that.
We're just passing the position. We could pass in the whole transform to draw a model, and then we'll have something to work with.
Correct.
Is that a? We have a transform type?
Yes, we do. It's probably immutable.
It's always immutable. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let me just. That. I'll just do transform.pos. Does not exist on type transform. Oh, because it's called position. Fine. All right, sweet. Okay, so then yeah, the rotation we can just apply from transform.rotation and at least see what kind of space we're in.
Yeah.
What?
So
Wait,
what is
this is the
orientation?
thing
It's
again.
like
We
0,
do
right?
it's 0 is north and then radians in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to do some conversion, but we want to do from. Oh, I love that there's a from rotation translation because you can just.
Yeah, we can combine these. Yeah.
Yeah. When I feel much safer about the order in that respect as well.
Yes. The quaternion is.
All
let's do
right.
quaternion from. Quat dot from. Euler. And then.
So I just pull this into the same call.
Okay. We might be able to just like pass that into. Pass the y the orientation into the y value from Euler.
It's in degrees. Do we have to convert from radians?
So it's quat.new 0, and then it's basically our orientation times 180 divided by pi, right? Math.pi. Quat.create.
Yeah.
It should be new. Although new is a key, new is probably a reserved word or something.
Zany. Yeah, I don't think you get to use that in JavaScript. Okay.
You know what's annoying is the word move in Rust is reserved. So I was like writing some code the other day and I like wanted to move something.
Oh, that is annoying.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. Okay, I see a problem. Where's our draw model? These let's see. We need just a fresh transform. Oh, and you're right. It totally wants to be immutable over here.
Or we could just pass in a position and an orientation.
Position.
Yeah, let's just decompose it, because this is the only thing that cares, right? It might be easier. Yeah.
Okay.
Pause is a vec2. Orientation is just a number, right?
Yep.
How's it going, Dean Putney?
What's up, Dean?
Who says, what's up? Do you know this
Dean
person?
something will render something soon. Yeah, Dean and I went to school together.
Nice.
Dean is an amazing artist of so many media. Yeah, we've been to XOXO together a couple times.
Okay.
Dean rocks. I'm flattered that Dean is hanging out on our stream.
Yeah, I'm gobsmacked. Thank you for joining, Dean.
Yeah. Top position. All right. And this, if we give it the orientation, just go ahead and render.
Dean begs of you, Odom, please. He's blushing. You've made him blush.
We were excellent collaborators when we had the. Oh goodness!
This gets better and better and better, I think.
It's it's just has its own opinion about which direction it wants to face, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So is our conversion correct?
Try negating the orientation. I'm
right,
morbidly curious.
I feel like that's.
It is rotating around the right axis. At least we picked that correctly.
Yeah, we nailed that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of my OpenGL. Oh, hey, negating it was totally correct.
And the model is backwards, right? You can see the turret just basically pointing at the wrong, because the model needs to be pointing down the negative z axis, right? The front of it needs to face negative z, or we need to change our whole frame of reference.
Yeah, I gotta say this little guy. There's a lot of shit going on in this model that I'm not sure I agree with.
Well, I don't know if facing negative z is actually the traditional thing. I would actually imagine that facing positive z is. But the fact that the orientation is negated there makes me think that we have a math problem somewhere.
I think we do, or is it that?
Okay, so what is a rotation around the y-axis? A rotation around the y-axis is moving. Imagine that the Cartesian plane has your x-axis in the normal position, but where the y-axis is instead the z-axis, and it's more negative as it goes upwards, right? That's what we're looking at, right? That's the whole thing that we've drawn here. And so I would think that the rotation convention that we had before, which is basically counterclockwise around in that plane that we talked about, should be correct, and yet we had to negate it somehow.
So if we're going this direction in the tank mover, we have. I wonder if trot speed. Where does direction even come from?
Direction is the direction that it's moving towards. So if we press left or rather west, we move west,
Right, and specifically the player input message, this direction move is, okay, so that's this. So when I'm trying to drive this way east, we're saying that this is negative mathed up pi over 2 radians, but you're asserting actually this should be a positive angle.
Yes, it should be positive, because radians.
These get negated.
Oh no, wait, east is right.
East is right. So do radians need to be negated? Yeah.
Gosh, this is where I'd start to get confused. As if I wasn't confused from the get-go. Like, this is where it starts to melt my brain a little bit.
Radians. It's really interesting. Yeah, I wonder, because I
think the proportions are correct, right? we are
Because I
seeing,
guess like, yeah, it kind of just depends how we, right. All the angles are basically coming in correct, or more or less.
but I just wouldn't have expected that the negation would have solved this problem. I thought we were. That's the sum. I know why the tank's backwards. It's because the model is actually basically in its own space, facing the wrong
Mhm.
direction. I feel like our rotations are correct though, but they're not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you were to point this direction, how many would you say it's 90 degrees?
I would say it's negative
Oh,
90 degrees
okay. Then yeah, then this is that.
because north is 0, and then moving
Hmm.
counter north is also the negative z-axis, right?
Hmm. Oh, because we're on negative z. Okay. I can wrap my head around that.
It
Eeh.
could just be that that's not the way that they do rotation around the y-axis. It could be that rotation around the y-axis is x cross z, and x cross z would be the negative.
Hmm. That's not
Does
helpful.
that make sense to me, to you if I say positive x cross positive z?
No, what do you mean by that?
Um, so I guess basically like imagine. Do you want to go to Miro real quick? Are you logged in
Yeah,
by
let's do
chance?
it. Oh, I'm not, but this should be a quick.
Okay.
I say that, but the website doesn't work. All right, there we go.
Yeah. Dean suggests just mess it all up for a while and it'll make sense eventually. Which is nothing if not the mantra of this entire stream.
Oh man, we've messed some stuff
Yeah.
up.
We've made some accidental art.
I think that's how we brought you into the stream because I tweeted some of our excellent accidental art recently.
Yes. You could just make your next XOXO presentation like this. Oh, it's cool. My little perspective drawing.
Your little perspective drawing is a good one.
Yeah, the bugs are features, indeed. That's just our attitude.
I'm so excited to like be able to like start putting weird shit into this because like one of my favorite experiences in games is when like I feel like they do some very clever rendering stuff where it feels broken and in fact they're just like letting the pipeline go wild.
Right.
So
Right. Okay,
I'm
so let me draw something
I'm
real
excited to
quick.
add the weird. Yeah, bring it over here because we're almost out of time.
Yes. Okay. So, boy, I'm in the eraser right now. That doesn't help. So I'm gonna draw like a 3D
Mm-hmm.
plane here, and this is positive x,
Mm-hmm.
and I should do this. Do it this way: positive z, positive x,
Mm-hmm.
and positive y,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is negative z, and this is also north, right? And
Yep.
this is east ish.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
the question is, if we say you are rotating around the y-axis, do we mean this kind of rotation, or do we mean that's why do they even give me that color on a white background? I'm blaming my tools. Tis a poor craftsman, right? Or
You're doing this on your iPad?
yes,
That's a very effective drawing around the axis.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think you kind of get what I'm getting at here.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So
Or
I guess are we using this magenta line because everything is counterclockwise for us?
well, you can basically determine this like uh in a strict way by saying um like if I said like a cross product is like, in the linear algebra sense, is where you take two vectors and
Mhm.
you get one you get another vector that's perpendicular to both of them. And
Mhm.
if I was to take the cross product of like positive x and negative z, you could say
Mhm.
that that's what your y-axis is. You could define your y-axis as x cross negative z, right? But you could
Gotcha.
also
Okay.
define your y-axis as x cross positive z, and the y-axis would actually move positively in the other direction, right? Like you could also have you could theoretically define your y-axis arbitrarily as one that goes this direction, positive y, right? Why is it that it goes one direction or the other? And it's basically how you decide to define it. There's no right or wrong. There's just conventions, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Interesting.
I think all of our other math indicates to me that positive y equals positive x cross negative z, right? Because the
Mhm.
camera has a positive y value and it's floating above this plane that we've drawn.
That's right. Because yeah, I'm just gonna confirm that real quick. But yeah, we did actually. Yeah, we're pushing it up on Y. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's confusing to me is that our orientation, when we increase rotation around the y-axis, like we did,
Mhm.
like when it's more positive, right? It should be rotating counterclockwise around the positive y-axis, right?
Mhm.
And yet it's not,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah.
We had to negate it, which means that we're going clockwise. I could
Hmm.
have the math wrong. I could have just like friggin'
Hmm. I see. I see the mystery now, though.
yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
I might be too obsessing over this too much.
Hmm.
Whatever we did in there works, but like it'll bite us in the ass if we were trying to solve a more difficult bug, right?
Yeah. Well, this is gonna be just like our tile size
Yeah,
objects down the line. So
yeah,
we will find it.
yeah.
Cool.
Are we done?
I think we're
I
we're
think we're
basically
done.
at time.
All right.
Yeah.
God, I can't believe it's Sunday night.
I know. Just go to work tomorrow, or you have a Monday off as well?
Uh, wait, you have a Monday off?
No, do you?
No.
Sorry, you always have like strange days off. I never know.
Fair enough. Totally fair. Um,
I do not, but I'm really digging this little guy.
we got a
I'm
backwards
excited
tank.
we got a backwards tank. I mean, he's a pacifist. Do you ever see the anime Rurouni Kenshin?
Yeah, I actually read the comic book in Chinese
Okay.
when I was studying in Taiwan.
All right. Well, he's got the backwards sword because he doesn't want to hurt anyone.
Oh, is that what it is? I forgot about that. So
The
it's
katana
dull.
edge is on the outside, yeah, or on the inside, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only person he can hurt
He
is
probably had a lot of
himself.
accidents when he was training with that
That's what I was
initially.
thinking, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
We just like watched some movie about that. That's why it's top of mind.
did you watch a movie about Rurouni Kenshin, or did you just watch
But
Rurouni
there
Kenshin?
was like a live action version that we watched as like one of our quarantine movies. It was actually good.
So 22-year-old Jeff was very preoccupied with that comic.
Nice.
But by the end of the year, because I like read through the whole thing, it's not. It's what happens to every Japanese comic. Like they're really good in that they're like a character is about a particular personality trait,
Mhm.
but when they resolve that personality trait like in sagas in a row, it starts to get a little tedious.
Yep.
Because correct me if I'm wrong. I think Rurouni Kenshin's thing is that he didn't want to really hurt people, and so therefore he couldn't actually beat certain people because he was like holding himself back. And then finally he had to like convince himself that like essentially the ends justify the means. It's like it's worth me busting out with the real goodness here if it means like protecting my friends, right?
Right. He's willing to hurt one person to save many. Then he's a Spock. The needs of the many, that sort of thing.
He's a classic Benthamite utilitarian. Is that what you're saying? And
Exactly.
that's exactly what that.
Yeah.
um,
I'm gonna pretend that I got that, and yes.
yes. The principle being that like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the
Yeah.
few, or like we need to maximize total utility across the entire population, right?
Mm.
That's Rurouni Kenshin in a nutshell. But he had to like figure that out like 50
many
supervillains
times.
in a row, and it just got extremely tedious. If I was one of his friends, I'd be like really frustrated. Like you haven't, you're relapsing back into your past behavior. I thought we went
Yeah.
over this before.
Saga number 4 is where they have the intervention where they're like, look, man, like it's okay for you to beat up some dudes.
Yeah.
We know you know this.
Yes. There is sort of a prequel story where it kind of like describes how he came into his sad state of mind, and it's really good.
All right.
Because he used to have the blade on the front side of his sword. Let's just say the version of Kenshin that had the blade on the front side.
I honestly, having never read any of this anime or seen any of it, I really enjoyed the movie because they kind of like dug into all of that. They had like his dark flashbacks, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you got some character.
Well, if you are interested in 19th century historical Japanese swordplay, go watch 13 Assassins if you haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I actually haven't.
Okay, yeah. Do you know Takeshi Miike?
Oh, fuck, I do. Is this actually watchable? Some of his stuff is terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah, but like,
this is not a horror movie. He does like
great.
screwball comedies. He's like all over the place, right?
I will say, yeah, I actually really loved. I watched this, which was like the screwballiest of comedies, and so excellent.
This has been on my to watch list for a long time.
Happy
Dead or
Death
Alive
Day
is really good.
I like just don't want to watch Ichi the Killer. Among other
Ichi
things,
the Killer is fine.
Okay.
Question mark. They're all really, his movies are all really intense. I would actually say that 13 Assassins is one of his less intense things that I've seen. It's just like a rad fucking movie. It's also a remake. So, and he stays like the relative plot beats are mostly the same and the characters are there.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
No, yeah, he's one of those directors where I like absolutely understand that his shit is totally brilliant. And sometimes I'm just like, man, I probably can't handle you.
Dom, are you looking at this game right now? Do you see how rad this is?
Dude, our game?
our fucking game.
There's so much shit in here.
Yeah. It's also it's also incredible to, I guess we could kind of roughly time lapse this and but it'd be fun to kind of like animate a movie that's just like, because this like roughly looks like the game we had before, but now it's like we suddenly tilted it on its side. And it's
wait, sorry, let me just check out Master.
Oh man.
Oh, sorry. Let me commit this.
Yes.
Now, is this session 58? I think it is. It's gonna be, so whatever.
Oh, you're right. ESK1404 says, this feels so much more like a game than it did 2 hours ago. It's surprising how much a difference a few small things make. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
It is true. I'm marveling at it. Like this isn't how it always goes. But it's how it sometimes goes.
Sometimes we are not so lucky.
Yeah.
Well,
sometimes
we'll see
you
what
get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you. Where does that come from? It's like it was like something I read in a work Slack channel or something like that.
Just what hunters used to say, I guess.
Oh.
It's much less exciting than I thought. Oh, look at this! Look at this!
Yeah, this is a friggin' video game. It's from The Big Lebowski. Great. Does the cowboy guy at the bar say that at the bowling at the
that
bowling
does
alley
that
bar?
does seem like a
what's that actor's name again? Sam. What's his name?
Elliot. Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Yeah. Nice. Dean confirms. He's going to be our Cohenologist for the stream.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, I forgot. This game is pretty fun like this too.
It's kind of
3D,
fun.
Though.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Yeah. But it's going to be in 3D.
It's better in 3D. Yeah. Yeah, and we have much more creative control. I feel good about being able to do models and I'm excited to get into some Blender. I do. I feel like our perspective transform is like a little. It's pretty fisheye. Yeah, I wonder.
Pretty fisheye. We may be able to change the far plane a little bit.
Oh shit! It refreshes itself, and I just refreshed it too many times.
Maybe it's the actual. It's the FOV that matters, right? So we could change that. What is it right now? Is it 90?
I think it's 90. Okay. It's pretty big.
Pretty big.
Oh yeah, here you go. 75. Yeah, I just noticed that these trees definitely feel like they're like getting sucked into a black hole on the sides of the screen.
Yeah.
We haven't changed the FOV slider at all, so I'm super curious what this is going to do.
We should make FOV like a
Yeah,
lot.
that's
We
actually
should
much
just
better.
start to add all kinds of debug controls. If we just
I'm
exposed
stoked.
FOV to the JavaScript console, we'd be off to the races, right?
Oh shit, that'd be cool. We'd have to change this projection matrix is compiled in like pretty early, but yeah, we
Oh,
could
yeah.
we can change the uniform. We just need a set projection matrix
Yeah,
function.
there's all kinds of stuff we'd want to do. Like we'd want to maybe resize the viewport when the window resizes as well.
Yeah, 75 looks much better to me than 90 though. It's much less
For
way
the
out
type of
here.
game that we're making, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well,
Oh man, this is actually starting to come together.
I know, right? And we have NetPlay, just back that in there for the last 3 months. But like, heck yeah.
Big structural question. Do we want the tank to be able to like drive up a hill? Are we gonna have actual like gameplay that depends on elevation, or is it just gonna be purely visual?
I've been well, like
If this is
these
just StarCraft, then maybe it's just visual.
if it's just StarCraft though, like you do get vision on the high ground that you don't otherwise.
There
So
is.
yeah, I definitely the like mountains are brown feels a lot less effective in 3D than it did in 2D. So I think we should come up with something.
Yeah.
Maybe in traditional Bolo fashion, we should like flatten the simulation out.
Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned Bolo because Dean just asked, "What is this game supposed to be?" Which is a pretty good question, right? Um, yeah. What's your summary, Dom?
Uh, that we both really love this little Bolo sucker. As well, I was a kid. I don't know how old you were, but
I played it in
you were
1995.
high school.
I was in high
High,
school when I played it, but
yeah,
it was already
yeah.
like really old. Yeah.
This is pretty old when I played it too. But
89, I think, is when this game came out.
oh gosh, okay, maybe not that old. But just it has a lot of interesting systems around destruction and inventory and like placement. So I think we're enjoying the notion of making something Volo like, but with a vaporwave anarcho punk twist.
Yeah.
Is
Pretty
that
pretty pretty light on the vaporwave.
so far?
Yeah, but in the politics, the intent is all there. And then yeah, so this is really more of a tech demo, to be quite honest, but like we're very inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right now I feel like we have as much fun just rating the actual engines because like we could have done this in Unity. We could have been like rating the game in Unity this whole time, but like
It wasn't my interest to do that though. I wanted
to write a renderer.
I wanted to learn all this stuff, and we've got multiplayer too. So
yeah, it's we keep sort of checking off like excuses for not doing game stuff because like now that we've got NetPlay and the 3D renderer, like we're gonna have to dig in some gameplay again, which is great.
Well, it's because we want this game to be rad.
It is. It's already rad, and it's gonna get radder.
If we commit too early, it's not gonna be rad.
Yeah. No, I feel so good about this. This has been fun.
Gridlines look good. They might just stay. They're not just debug stuff.
Jeff, you just got a little quiet. I don't know if you moved your mic or switched your mic.
I moved my head. I'll just use continuous volume. See, it's like it's very.
Oh, it's much better over there. Yeah.
And okay. I'm not very good at staying next to the mic. my mic technique is not good. True on stream, true on stage. Okay.
Cool. Well, Dean, thanks for hanging out. ERSK, who's the other person? Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah. ESK 1404.
ESK 1404. Nice to see both of y'all tonight. Enjoy your weeks.
And we are back on Thursday night.
Thursday night.
This is an unusual Sunday night stream. We normally do Mondays and Thursdays.
Sweet. All right.
Thanks, ESK 1404 and Dean Putney.
Yeah.
Good night, guys.